Welcome back, everybody, to Fusion's Ramblings. In this series, we take a few minutes, 15 minutes or so, and we just ramble on about some random topic. What could it be? I have no idea. Actually, I do, because I'm the one that chooses them. So today's topic is Pepsi or Coke? Oh my goodness, let the battles begin. If I didn't create enough controversy in the dog versus cats video, or cats versus dogs, I don't know which way comes first, right? Then definitely this is going to get, even more controversy going, right? So Pepsi versus Coke, what is your preference? Hands down for me, it's Pepsi. Oh my goodness, I know. Coke lovers, I've completely destroyed you because Pepsi's just better. No, it's interesting. I mean, by default, it's the same company to begin with, right? And you may not know this. Dr. Pepper was one of the first uh, pop companies or soda companies that came out. If we compare it to today's what we consider as soda today, because soda originally was completely different, and it was considered to be a medicine, believe it or not, or at least a tonic or something like that. But later on, Pepsi Cola came out, and Pepsi Cola had, developed, of course, a unique flavor and became very popular. And then, at some point in history, I don't know the dates, you can look it up. The company split, and it's because the founders had differing opinions, and so one of them decided that the flavor needed to be different, or it needed to change, or things like that. Um, and so the company split, and we ended up with Pepsi, and we ended up with Coke, no longer, or Coca-Cola, actually, and it was no longer Pepsi Cola. So Pepsi retained the original flavor, because it was the original company. And then Coca-Cola had its new flavor. Um, and I don't know all the differences in, ingredients and what they really changed and all of that. Both of them are vanilla based in general, and of course have a lot of carbon and water and sugar. But the flavors are different, of course, and the contents are different. Uh, and I prefer Pepsi because I think it has a slightly sweeter taste. I think it goes down better. It doesn't upset my stomach as much as Coke does. Plus, when you pour a glass, just a glass, a regular glass of Coke or Pepsi, and you put them side by side, Coke has an oily film across the top of it. Usually you don't notice because, of the fizz and foam from the carbonated carbon in it. But that just disturbs me, and I've seen that on other sodas as well, like Shasta. Shasta used to have a ton of what seemed like oil in it or something. When you pour it, you'd have this oil stain across the top. It's like looking at a puddle of water where some car oil has leaked out of the oil pan into the puddle of water, and you see this rainbowy film on it. That's what it kind of looks like. Coke's not as bad as Shasta, um, but it's still there, and that just turned me off. But then the flavor too. The flavor, I just like Pepsi better, and it's kind of interesting. There's always these tests and battles and stuff where which one do people prefer, taste tests and all of that. And if you look at some of those results where they're blindfold tests, and they go in and they give them two identical glasses, one with Pepsi, one with Coke, and it's a Coke lover, the person up front will say they love Coke and they like Coke and it's their preferred drink and all of that. Um, and then they go through the taste test, and the results will show that for taste, they preferred Pepsi. And it's like, well, wait a minute, they're a Coke fan. Why did they choose Pepsi? Well, I think it really comes down to Coca-Cola's marketing strategy. I think that's really what makes the difference when you're looking at the soft drink battle, is that Coke is everywhere. They're Olympic sponsors, they're, sponsors of all kinds of sports activities, games, you name it. You see their logo and branding on everything. In fact, most fast food chains, have Coke because, Coke has really pushed that as a franchise. And so I think that's what really has made the difference as far as why so many people say they prefer Coke is because of that marketing campaign and that they're so familiar with it and they're just so accustomed to seeing it and everything that goes along with it that that's what they've chosen and that's what they drink. But when it comes to the actual taste and they challenge themselves, they might find out that they prefer Pepsi. Maybe not every time, I'm not going to say that for sure, but I think that's quite interesting, when you look at those results. And I'm sure there's results that you could probably find that would go the other way too. So, I mean, in the end, it just comes down to whatever preference you have for whatever reasons. Um, and those reasons may have nothing to do with taste. It may just be the way it fizzes or the way you like how it lasts longer because when it sits out, it doesn't lose its taste or whatever. I have no idea. But Coke has definitely done the better job from a marketing and advertising standpoint when it comes to its products, in that it is very visible, everybody's aware of it, and you just see it involved in every type of activity and event that's going on. And Pepsi's definitely made some effort to do so, both in commercials and advertisement and events and things like that. And of course, there's fast food chains that have Pepsi. A lot of them are actually owned by Pepsi. Um, so it's just interesting, and it's a battle that will probably never be decided, and that there'll be equal winners for as long as Coke and Pepsi exist, which I don't see going away, but you never know. Something may come out that is better and people just switch to that's not soda at all. Yeah, who knows, right? You don't know what the future is going to hold. Um, and then, by that time, maybe Pepsi and Coke will become things of ancient history and nobody will really be interested in them anymore. But, anyways, it makes for a fun discussion and a fun topic, uh, whether you are a fan of either one. And so, you know, each to his own preference, I say. And if that's what you prefer, then hey, go enjoy it. All the merrier, right? Um, as far as other drinks outside of Coke or Pepsi that would be comparable, I mean, obviously both brands have different, um, both companies have different brands. Like Pepsi has, 7 Up, and Coke has Sprite, and so forth. And, I don't think there's as big of an argument or battle over a lot of those brands of like which is better, 7 Up or Pepsi or Sprite or I mean 7 Up, Sprite, or Squirt. And there's probably some other lemon type flavored drinks out there, but those are the three that I can think of off the top of my head, outside of your off brands or your cheaper brands like Shasta and stuff like that. Um, but you don't see, big battles over them. I do think there is a little bit of difference between the type of root beers that you can get, whether you're a fan of A&W or Mug or I forget the brands. There's another main one. Um, those are a little bit different as far as how they're made, their ingredient base, and of course, while you drink them plain, typically, most popularly anyways, you're always going to have a root beer with some ice cream or something in it, right? And have a root beer float. Although that's debatable too. Depending on where you go in the world, floats can be different. For example, in Asia, Coke floats and Sprite floats and orange soda floats are very popular. Um, I don't really care for them much. I don't think the flavor matches very well, but it is very popular. Where instead of root beer, you have a Coke with ice cream in it. In fact, McDonald's serves those. So that's quite interesting right there. Um, but that just, of course, again, shows that there are different tastes throughout the world depending on where you go and the different preferences that you're going to encounter will vary, and I'm sure in other locations it's different as well. I know South America has several different drink brands that are very popular, and I'm sure the same thing is true of Africa and Europe and other areas, um, where yes, Coke and Pepsi is still there, but they also have other brands and other sodas and drinks that are popular from a soda standpoint. I mean, we could go into a whole iced tea argument or coffee argument or things like that, but we'll just stick to soda for now. Anyways, that is pretty much all I have to say about that matter. So whether you are a Pepsi lover or a Coke lover, each to his own. Let's just all be friends. um, but thank you very much today for joining me on Fusion's Ramblings as I rambled off about Coke and Pepsi and the differences. And I will end it by saying that all facts are not substantiated by fact, because it is just what my opinion is. Thank you, everybody, for joining. You have a great day, and we shall see you again in the next episode.